really interesting, right? So it's just like the compromising beyond trust using using what is a very traditional attack, right? And then subsequently using that as the these are the vendor, well, not vendor, it's the they're very specific term, right?
These mobile networks were already very, very vulnerable with Salt Typhoon kind of breaking into them. You had like the SS7 vulnerabilities already.
Yeah, and then we also had that 3-year-long like Linux kernel, like basically the SSH, basically that long burn like supply chain infiltration, which was honestly one.
No. Are you talking about the XCUtils?
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
XCUtils is not part of the Linux kernel.
It was, so it depends on which distro, of course, right?
No, it doesn't depend on which distro. It's not a part of the Linux kernel. It's a tool that a lot of Linux distros use, but it's not a part of the Linux kernel.
Let me pull up the very specific what attack I'm talking about, because then you might definitely be right. Give me 1 second.
Coming to the Beyond Trust vendor, the main problem is they trust this vendor too much. So, if we are going forward with, the technical frameworks that NIST is usually recommending, I think we should go with, something like the zero trust architecture, where you don't trust anything unless you actually need to. So since they actually trusted this so much, that's one of the reasons how they infiltrated, because they, blindly trust Beyond Trust. And that's how the credentials got stolen via support. From what they say, they haven't extracted any sensitive documents yet, and there is no persistent access by these APT actors. That's all we know so far. I don't know what actually happened.
Nice. But it took my steak. No. Nice.
No, I was talking about GraphViz, not StockDAC Zackrot.
I'm talking about XCUtils.
Sorry. Well, apparently this has happened multiple times, but I was specifically talking about GraphViz, which is a major part of Ubuntu, and all Ubuntu
that's still not a part of the Linux kernel, though.
It's directly in the kernel.
I don't think so.
GraphViz, the GraphViz is in the KVM okay, so it handles its indirect branch prediction isolation between the L1 and L2 VMs in the KVM VMX implementation of the Linux kernel.
Okay. When was that added in?
Oh, when was that? So no, it was that was added in 2013 after a 3-year slow burn attack, but it was excised almost immediately by a hero who was like, "What is this PR?" And they looked into it and they noticed it was basically allowed somebody to execute DOS, basically just straight up DOS attacks using your because it lives between L1 and L2. So. Basically this attack only lived for about 12 hours after it was executed, which
so GraphViz as in GRAPHVIZ. Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's the improper handling of GraphViz that was the implementation of the KVM VMX. So basically, actually, I'm more so it affected GraphViz, but it was actually indirect handling of in branch prediction isolation between the L1 and L2 VMs in the KVM VMX implementation of the Linux kernel. All of them.
Okay, but that wasn't a part of. Okay, so that wasn't.
No.
GraphViz itself
Is one of the tools affected. But
it wasn't a part of Linux. It wasn't a part of the Linux kernel, and it wasn't directly in KVM.
Yes, this was I mean, kind of directly in KVM, right? Because it lives between L1 and L2.
I actually have the similar opinion with Arta because I don't know any component or package that's named GraphViz that's part of the Linux kernel.
Exactly.
Well, no, it wasn't actually a package that was. It was improper branch handling, basically, that was directly upstreamed into, not from a package. It was improper handling of the KVM between the L1 and L2 machines. That was the problem.
More accommodating to English-speaking tourists. Many shops and vendors. For someone who speaks English? Oh, come on. What you looking for, fella? We got Donald Trump selling hot dogs. Are you looking for something that's really tasty? The local signature dish.
What the fuck is this?
Never forget for the rest of your life.
Sorry, I forgot to mute. There's this Chinese influencer.
Yeah, I saw that. It's annoying.
He does a stupid Donald Trump voice.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to topic.
So I can't.
Yeah, back to topic.
I can't find what you're talking about exactly.
Okay, so it's the ASLA, Advanced Linux Sound Architecture, and IO Uring, which are both subsystems of the Linux kernel, which contain one use after free vulnerability, and then the CIFS network system was directly. Basically, this was discovered by Jose Oliveira.
Okay, so this is YY error, right?
Why? No. This is CV. You want the CVE number specifically?
Okay, CVE 2023-46045. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm not. I'm talking about CVE 2023-12-8-81.
Hold on, wait. 2023
1281.
1281.
And this one allowed arbitrary code execution, which is pretty ridiculous.
Okay, let's see. For control and breaks off.
Oh yeah. Can you find the CVE?
Yeah, I did. I'm reading through it now.
Okay. Yeah, so you can elevate yourself to root with it. Basically, you execute arbitrary DOS code, but basically the traffic control index was basically somebody was handling that specifically. That was a contributor to the Linux kernel for 3 years, and actually did some good PRs and stuff like that. Subsequently, they were trusted, and then when they did a PR. And then this one specifically was upstreamed into the Linux kernel. And am I okay? Do you agree now that this is in the kernel because it's very clear it's in the kernel? If it's on the CVE.
Yeah, it was in the traffic control subsystem. Yeah.
Yes.
You see,
yeah, but it's specifically
module.
The easiest way for somebody to to exploit this would have been through GraphViz, but there was a lot of ways to exploit it. Interestingly Jamie was never affected. Apparently, like no, depends on which version of Jamie. I'm wrong. Sorry, that was totally wrong with me. I totally misspoke there. My bad. So yeah, this is an example of like a long burn. This is like the only one I know of actually that was a just straight. But this was also discovered within, I believe, 12 hours, and yeah. So attack vectors just look, yeah, like I mean, this is pretty much like this gave you full control over the computer. So this was pretty brutal for those. And then I remember like the day that this was found, everybody was losing their minds. Like that was pretty crazy because like that was everyone was like, yeah, update your kernel right now. Otherwise, you'll have that was March 22nd, March 2023. Yep. Yeah. But yeah, this is an example of the 3-year long burn, and we believe now it was a Chinese state actor because of because the way we use pinging their emails, they switch 2 times between emails. One of them kind of looked like pinging, which is a pretty good sign that. Although that kind of like shows that like hackers aren't like always perfect, because why would you, if you're like a Chinese state actor, why would you use pinging in your like email? Like that's kind of weird, but that it worked. So, but I don't know how much they got out of it. I mean, yeah. Right.
Okay, I mean, I can talk about, some of the things I learned by tracking multiple APT groups from China. So generally, like what they do is they try everything. It's not like, this method is more advanced than the other one, so I would go by this. It doesn't work that way. Like they have unlimited resources because it's been backed by like, CCP and other parties. So they try everything that's possible. And, whatever gets them in, that gets them in. I mean, it basically stands for persistent threat, right? So they would do whatever it takes to get in.
Oh yeah, 100% agree. I mean, I'm not saying that there's like only one way, but this was a particularly interesting slow burn one. That there was a good friend of mine that wrote a long blog about it. I can link it at some point, but yeah. Wasn't meaning to imply that this is like the only way to attack somebody, because it's just like a 3-hour slow burn, a 3-year slow burn is a very weird attack comparatively to just a simple phishing email with like a cookie fisher.
I mean, I think this is more like a supply chain attack, right? Because they are compromising someone in the middle of the chain, something like Beyond Trust, which is an authentication service. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
And there has been like multiple recommendations from the White House cybersecurity documentation. Like they are kind of recommending us to do all the requirements for SBOM. SBOM is basically like software bill of materials, and they are telling us to use more and more secure programming languages like Rust, and the other basic stuff like MFA and so on. I still don't know like how they managed to get in, because the main access was the support portal. I would assume it is social engineering, but I'm not very certain on like how they actually got in. It could be phishing emails, SMS. They probably targeted some employee who works at Beyond Trust. I hope we get like more information in the upcoming days from Beyond Trust.
Adrian, I'm gonna send you a meme.
Okay. Oh, I saw that. Yes. I saw that. Yes. Yes, that's true.
I guess I'm cracked.
Yeah.
Wait,
should
why are you cracked?
Like what? Should I just post that? I think it's just posted. I don't know.
I'll send it to you, Elliot.
Wait, how did I say that again? I couldn't hear.
I sent it to you, Elliot.
Oh, on where? Signal?
Yes.
The idea is actually not to be on the alignment chart, but to be above it. This doesn't make any sense, but if you really think about it, it might. And if it does, that's where I am.
The only way to intelligent life forms is to make Ligma jokes.
Yes.
I got a topic that you guys can talk about, and because it sort of like piqued my interest. But did you guys see this article about how the Facebook and Instagram, they're planning to implement fake AI user accounts on their platforms?
Yes, the AI, the dead internet theory is not so much theory anymore, and this is direct evidence for it. Now, I will tell you this, however, the internet at large is not really alive as much as people would think it is. It's kind of like a shadow of what it once was, more or less a ghost town with a few people still left within it. You know, there's a few tumbleweeds and such, you know, old internet forums where nobody has posted anything on since almost 15 years, stuff like that. That's what the internet is today. And of course, you know, various parts like capital cities, such as, you know, the apps which people use, you know, Discord, the Discords of the world, TikTok, you know, all that kind of stuff, X. And yeah, most of those are very real. But Instagram and Facebook, look, I'm going to be real with you. That and places like Blue Sky, there's no fucking way all that's real. There's no way. I refuse to believe that such large swaths of the population are that brain dead.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that. I don't think very highly of today's society and how much it has advanced and the kind of nonsense that it does, but I refuse to believe that many people are that brain dead. It's just not
Here's
possible.
how you can tell it's fake. Okay, so if you're like on X and you post an outbound link, you're probably going to get a decent amount of traffic. Maybe not as much as you'd like because it's deboosted. If you're on YouTube and you put a link out to like sell your merch, you'll get a lot of traffic. YouTube is real. TikTok is also real, which is why a lot of small businesses operate on TikTok. Now, if you do this on Instagram, on the other hand, or Facebook, and I've tried this, right, because I handle some of this stuff, you get nothing. You get fucking nothing because nobody's actually using it. So you might get the views, you might see that, oh my God, 1 million people saw this, but how many people actually clicked on the link? Relatively few, less than 100. That tells me that, you know, if let's just say 5% of people who watch the video are going to click on your link, click on it, right? That number should not be like less than 100. It should be at least be about 5,000. Okay, it's just the numbers just don't add up. It just isn't real, right? And Facebook was actually caught, a few years ago. They were sued by their own investors for faking the numbers, or for the advertising, where people pay for ads. They pay for like 1 million views. They get 1 million views, but turns out none of those views are real, and Facebook was faking it. And now they're trying to fake it to their own audience using, bots, right? They're using AI. It's actually really insane to think that is happening, but yeah. The data internet theory is also very interesting in some video games. You guys all play video games, and if you play something like Marvel Rivals or Call of Duty, you know that everybody you're playing with is real because those games are extremely popular, right? But now if you were to play something that is less popular, something that is, has maybe 10,000 concurrent users, you can immediately join a game, but all the players that you're playing with are bots, and they don't even disclose it to bots. Now, some games do, like Battlefield will tell you when you're playing against a bot, but a lot of these games will simply make you assume that these are actual players. Fortnite is one of them. I don't believe that Fortnite has as many players as it does. Maybe it wants to.
No, even Call of Duty is the same thing. I used to specifically target various particular times at which I'd play because there's a nice intersect. Because there's two people that come online. The people who are crackheads like me, autistically speaking, not actual crack user, by the way, because everybody's like microanalyzing everything I say now. And the people who have stayed up all night to game the whole way through. And so in my case, I was there and I was active. I didn't get up at like 3 or 4 in the morning and play for like an hour because it's perfect. Because those people are either just still waking up, completely fucking tired, or just bots. Either way, perfect time to grind for achievements and kills. Absolutely perfect. And again, there are bots everywhere. There are bots in every single one of those games. And again, you can target these times properly whenever the activity is just right. And the lowest point is exactly when people are about to log on and when people are about to log off, and it's like the early hours of the morning type thing. You know, everybody's just like completely out of it. They're tired. They don't even want to fight anymore. They're just kind of browsing through, stuck in the lobby, talking about weird spiritual shit or whatever they happen to be talking about. And then they just crash it out and fall asleep. So with games, it's everywhere. There's bots everywhere. Every game. I will say though, I have played games where the bots are playing better than humans. No kidding. Better than fucking humans, right? The future of gaming, unless it's really insinuated that it's PvP, it's just going to be PvE most of the time. Unless it's like high ranked, and it's a guarantee that you'll fight humans, you'll actually have a better time fighting the bots in terms of the skill that you have and the bot has than if you were to fight other humans. The same thing also be said for chess, for instance, right? The way certain people play chess, sometimes it's nicer to play with the ultimate strategist because it's just very interesting to see how the board just, forms and transforms, right? But when it comes to like playing with somebody who's a straight up attacker and you're a straight up attacker, then shit just is very okay, it's like I'm playing against myself, That was annoying. It's like, this is not entertaining at all. This is boring. I already know what's going to happen next and why I'm going to fuck up.
This is like funny as well. Like if you play on Hearthstone, the ladder mode, right, standard mode, sometimes, occasionally, and it's more than occasionally, because there aren't that many people playing, even though there are, it will just throw you a match against a bot where it will literally quit mid-game. It will play maybe one move and then it just stops playing, gives you a free win. And that kind of keeps you playing for like the lazy casual players, right? Because they can't win. They're terrible at the game. And so the Blizzard, it wants to incentivize people to keep playing the game. It will literally throw you a bone. We'll be like, oh, we see that you've been losing, 3 times in a row against real players. We're going to throw you an AI, and then you can feel like a winner just because you beat it, even though it didn't do anything. It just quit mid game, right? You know who I blame for this? I blame Valve, right? They hired this one fucking guy. It was Yanis Varoufakis. He used to be like the Greek finance minister. He came up with a lot of this stuff. Yeah. He's a psychologist, right? And he came up with a way to create a rat. What's that experiment called where you put a rat in a cage and then it presses like a button and then it gets a reward?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know the one you're talking about. I just don't remember.
Yeah, they did that with loot crates, right? Valve invented a loot
Like
crate.
a Skinner box or
Yeah, Skinner box. Yeah. He used the Skinner box idea, right, and he implemented that in the way that the reward systems function in Valve's games. I mean, before there was Team Fortress 2, a lot of people know this because they don't give a shit about video games, but it actually has a real world effects here because it's gamification of everything, and we live in a world that's gamified. And these are all gamers. Team Fortress 2 was like the first game to offer loot boxes, right? You get a loot crate, but then you have to pay money to buy the key to unlock that box, and then you feel like, oh my god, I got something. Even though all you're doing is literally, you're at a slot machine pulling the slot. You're putting $1 in there, right? But because there is this whole process involved where you get the crate and you have to fight for the crate, you have to play for the crate, you buy the key, you feel like you're rewarded for it.
Oh, by the way, Adrian Elliott, I have a very good book recommendation for both of you. It doesn't really apply to me, but it would be helpful for you too.
Shoot. Are you saying I'm
King James version.
Just kidding. Good.
Yeah, look at what I just sent you. Yeah.
What is this?
What the fuck?
How dare you?
For a second there, I thought you were serious. Fuck you.
For context, it's a book with a kind of brown and white background. There's an Amazon package on a granite counter, and the book title says, "Not a grower, not a shower, not a shower, a guide to life with a micro penis."
Not a very hard story.
I got you officially mixed fucking gun
I got you both good.
For a second there, I actually thought I was going to have to take it. It's been a serious last couple days, so fuck you, man. Oh, somebody cut the space, somebody this, somebody that. So here, you have to go look at this because that's the thing that's going to become a problem next. No, this time was just a fucking troll.
I mean, look at my account. I've been like constantly trolling the past 2-3 days.
Hey, you guys are like big readers, right?
Sometimes.
Okay, I'm wondering.
Check out
suggestion.
on Signal.
Like, I want a recommendation for a book about the gamification of society. Does any such book exist? Like what I was talking about with the way that they, gamified reward systems in video games. Are there any books that actually talk about this? Because I would like to see how this is implemented on social media.
Probably, but I haven't read it.
Okay. Maybe someone's gonna have to write it.
I don't.
Just watch. You have eyes.
I don't give a shit.
I know it, but like I would like someone else's insights to see what they think about it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't like the that bias that you have when you experience everything firsthand, right? And I'm pretty.
What if you write a book yourself? Put it out there. What if you write a book yourself? Put it out there and see what the commentary to that is. That's the thing you could do.
That's a good idea.
And then somebody's gonna take that. By the way, somebody's gonna take that thing and they're gonna say, "Oh my God, this guy is writing about the things that he's doing. Holy shit!" It's a good thing because everybody's then going to talk about the book to try and roast it, thereby advertising it. See, I already gamified it right there.
By the way, I don't give a shit about these topics. So even if there was a book, I wouldn't know about it. But I'm guessing there probably is.
That is only if you ever creates a video game. Yeah. If there's anyone who wants to create a video game, depending, of course, on what it is, I could help your voice with some stuff because I'm relatively good.
Oh yeah.
I actually discussed this with Adrian. I'm like, what if I made a game and we just made Adrian off? Yeah, what if I made a game and we just made Adrian 100% of the voices?
Oh yeah,
It's like Adrian, but a bunch of different like pitches and amplitudes.
Exactly.
Like for instance, when I get super sarcastic, I do this thing. Remember what I did when somebody asked me what my contributions to society were, and I said taxes? And specifically, I did it like this. My contributions to society was taxes. It's this thing that's in the back of you.
All right, Adrian, try to do a Texan accent.
There is no fucking way.
Well, howdy.
I'm thinking about starting a GoFundMe so we can send Adrian to Mars before Elon, just to piss Elon off.
Oh my God.
Partner up with Bezos, we're build a rocket.
There's not enough money in the world to throw at certain problems for those problems to just be oversaturated and die.
I don't
Which is
understand how
actually
people
good
think
skill.
I mean, he's literally posting on X right now, and there's no way you're having a conversation and laughing while, he's
Well, the
tweeting about something completely
argument is that Adrian is an AI clone, so he can operate simultaneously. That's the argument. That's the only one that actually logically would work in the universe.
Oh, he isn't.
Rogue AT.
Wow. I don't know. I mean, I like him.
See, who the heck started this thing? Because me and Auda were having a bunch of fun and games in here, just saying like, yes, he is a clone. No, he's not a clone. We just went back and forth 10 times, and I feel like we confused the shit out of everybody.
No,
Everybody seems to think I'm some sort of
This was
Neuralink
happening
clone,
before.
which makes no
theory
sense.
is years old.
Exactly. This has been happening for long before you came around.
Charles Johnson is taking credit, by the way, that he came up with the theory that you are and Elon are the same person.
He's full of shit.
He's a grifter.
The theory. Nice theory.
By the way, okay, so I know Adrian. I know what he looks like. Right. It's not like he's not.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how good looking is he? 1 to 10.
He's 11.
He's about a 0.1.
Ellen's secretly gay and she wants to remain closeted. That's the problem.
Oh my fucking god. All right. Anyway. Yeah, so I know what he looks like. Oh shit! You're just gonna have to take my word for it. There's nothing I can do to.
Yeah, believe Andrew Tate here.
Yeah, exactly.
I missed that part, but okay.
Okay,
Wait, seriously, you missed the fact that Andrew Tate's leaning into the chaos.
So
Says yes,
to give you a
Well, I saw
summary.
Tristan here the other day, but I didn't join.
Yeah. Okay. To give you a summary, basically, what happened was that a bunch of retards started tagging Tristan Tate to the point that tagging Tristan Tate to the point that he actually entered the space, being like, I'm getting tagged so many fucking times, saying that I'm outer, and so I've just joined the space to kind of say I'm not, and then that's my only contribution here.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the next
That
day...
makes sense. I understand why they would think that.
Yeah, and then the next day, some fucking retard posts, "Oh my god, guys! I was listening to now that Adrian has been outed as Elon Musk. I was listening to his space and his co-host. I thought I remembered his voice. I thought I could recognize his voice. It was Andrew Tate, and that shit got 12,000 fucking likes." And Andrew Tate basically replied to someone saying, "I'm gonna fucking lean into this because I like chaos." And co-posted that.
Nice.
He co-posted that saying true, as in I'm fucking outer.
Way to go, man. Way to go.
Yeah.
So every single one of us has a problem here, okay? I got the Elon thing. He has the Andrew thing, except he's really leaning into it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm somehow simultaneously Ian here, Andrew Tate here, not here, but you get my point. Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, and somehow fucking Adrian all at the same time.
I'm also Adrian, by the way.
Yeah.
According to some rumors that have been floating around on Reddit, and a few people have been
I am Blazdog.
kept tweeting at me. They're like, you and Adrian are the same person. Like, how am I Adrian? I know I sound kind of like Elon sometimes. Sometimes, I don't know. I don't think I do, but people say I do. And so...
I gotta say something funny. So somebody, what the fuck is this? So somebody has posted a post with a screenshot of notes with sex rules. Okay. Anyways, so this guy, the future cousin, anyways, says, "Hey, Elon Musk, or maybe Adrian Dittman too. Why the fuck am I seeing this on my feed? Is the improved I can't keep it up. Is improved informed X you envisaged yet? What the fuck? I'm sorry, let me read this. Is this the improved informed X you envisaged yet? Oh yeah. Oh my god. Sorry, I'd actually type in words that can be understood. Maybe that'll help you out. This is social media, not a fucking book club. Now, if you see this, I'll say this right now. If this guy's listening to this, I'm sorry if I said it like that. It's just been a very long day, and it's been a very strange couple of days, and I don't want to read overcomplicated sentences. Anyways, if you see shit like this in your feed, either you or someone or all of the people who you're following is interacting with that shit. So that has nothing to do with the algorithm and everything to do with whoever you are following or whatever you're interacting with. Mainly whatever you're interacting with. And if you're looking at this shit, bookmarking that shit, interacting with that shit, as in the comment, you get to see a lot more of it. So that's your fault. This is an algorithm. It takes your data, it takes your actions, it takes your actions and turns that into an output, which is your feed. Mainly, that's what algorithms are supposed to do. My feed is incredible, by the way. The amount of autistic stuff that I see on my feed is incredible. I love it. That's exactly what I want to see. That's because I interact a lot with it, and anything that I don't want to see, I just simply do not interact with it. It's a very simple thing. I don't understand how people fuck that up. Especially this guy who's like, I don't know, what does he actually do?
Right, he's telling on himself.
Geopolitics, economics, IR. Okay, no, never mind. I'm not sure what exactly. if you're focused on geopolitics, then maybe you should interact more with the geopolitics stuff. But when was the last time this person posted anything? Oh my god.
Holy shit! The fucking
it's not much.
The grifter conservative woman movement needs to be fucking studied.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh my god, please. Did you see the fight right now?
No. What's the
Which fight?
Pearl and Isabella Marie DeLuca or whatever. Cake boobs girl.
Yeah, the hot chick
fucking
fight.
god.
Yeah. I've heard about it on the sidelines.
Oh yeah, the quote-unquote conservative woman that's like, I don't need to fucking post a half-naked picture and then post a half-naked picture. Yeah, that woman.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's
they're
because
just
there was a thing back in the day.
She's actually really nice, guys.
There was a thing back in the day. Now, there was a thing back in the day where everybody said, "Hey, these people are from this political are very ugly, so posted pictures of themselves, and then other people posted pictures of themselves. So it turns out that the people who said that they wouldn't post any revealing pictures of themselves posted extremely revealing pictures of themselves. I think revealing. It's just a dude saying that, you know. I'm not sure what your target audience was for that. I sure as hell didn't believe that shit. And I sure as hell would say that probably that kind of goes back into, you know, back on what you were saying or what you were intending. But that's just my opinion, man.
Yeah,
Also-
unfortunately, based on my comments, you're
also,
probably
by the way,
of people who don't want to see it.
Oh. Also, by the way, I kind of want people to understand this. Before you develop some sort of weird attachments to me, I am in fact taken. Do not send me any weird sex mail or something like that. That has happened for quite a while, and I find it extremely disgusting.
This is such bullshit, bro. I've got like 100,000 more followers than you, and nobody ever sends me these things.
I was gonna say,
Trust me.
like,
You do not want that. Trust me. That shit's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, I get
Demographics here. There's multiple demographics here. There is the MILFs, and then there's the post-MILFs. Okay? You don't want nothing from the other. You don't want nothing from that. Trust me.
do you get dick pics too? Like, because of all the like
No,
Elon
no.
fans? I get them.
No.
constantly.
Look at
I feel
you.
like I haven't
Surprisingly, I
watched-
have never seen any dick pics myself, so that's totally fine.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
so jealous. I get them
I've
constantly.
requested.
Knock on wood.
I posted a picture of my cock today on X.
Wait, what?
Bird flu.
What?
What the fuck? You didn't get banned?
Oh. I love how
Jason just said he can change that.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
As a disclaimer, please don't send me dick pics either. I'm good. No,
Yeah,
thank
look
you.
at this. Look at this.
What a good idea.
Look at this. I posted a picture of my cock.
The girls love that.
Wow. Nice post.
Oh my god.
Looks pretty regular size to me, if I'm honest.
Oh my god, go fuckers. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Yeah.
I knew it was a pun.
Yeah.
He's trolling.
Look at everybody laughing at your cock.
I'm like reading about myself right now, right? Like there's a bunch of those websites that do this bios, and all the information is wrong. The birthday is wrong. The place of residence is wrong. What's incredible is that these websites are archived on, ChatGPT and Grok, and so when people ask it,
Like the fucking net
where's he
worth
living?
websites. The net worth websites.
Yeah, all fake, right? And, all that information is wrong. Some of it's coincidentally true, but most of it is wrong. And people will just, try to push this bullshit onto me. They'll be like, this website says you're XYZ and you have this much money. It's like, how the fuck would you even know that? I don't even know how much money I have in my bank.
I actually, I have a funny story. I actually, know, a businessman. And I was, looking him up online. And, I got to, one of those, net worth websites.
Yeah.
And he looked at that and he's like, if I was only worth that much, I would kill myself.
Yeah. Unbelievable, man. Everything about it is wrong, and then people be like, happy birthday, it's your birthday today, October 7th. It's like, I'm not born in October. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm not this age either, Holy shit. But they're insistent, they think that because the AI tells them something, therefore it must be true. They don't question where it got its information. They just assume it's like the Oracle at Delphi, where it can tell you what actually is true. It's like, no, that's not how it works.
The Oracle at Delphi, though, was bullshit, too.
Unless it's like Bloomberg or maybe even sometimes Forbes. It's
because they do actual research.
Yeah, any other source is complete horseshit.
Ian, do you want to start an accurate bio of you on Infowars.com? I can make it happen.
No, thank you.
Yeah, Ian Malchuk, Infowars.com, perfectly accurate bio.
Ian Malchuk was born on September 27, 1995.
God, if I was only that young.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's younger than I
What do you mean he
expected.
was born? No, what do you mean? What do you mean he was born in 1955? You know, the day Einstein died.
Right.
No particular reason for this, by the way. No particular
Did you
reason.
guys
You
know?
can
I'm not
come up with shit.
connecting
That's the idea
Somebody
that opening.
Did you guys know that the guy that basically, some guy basically took Einstein's brain? He took like 1 million photos of it, and then he fucking cut it up into 1,000 different pieces, and then like he just gave them to random people. Sometimes he gave them friends or family.
Oh shit, that's what that was.
Really?
Yeah, so there's like random people out there that have like like parts of Elon, not Elon,
Why?
Einstein's brain.
That's what to say.
Getting that new document.
Are they like slides of his brain, like where he cut it up and then you put it in the slide, like a plastic sheet sort of thing?
Like put them like in like a jar. He put like them in like a jar and like trying to preserve them.
I thought it was
So
like
we've got just a
cross-section,
bunch of
you know, because-
bite-sized pieces of Einstein's brain
he
jars.
took like 1,000 pictures because basically he was like once like that happened, once I cut it up there was like no more brain to study, so he like took like a ton of pictures and then he just cut it up into like a bunch of fucking pieces.
That is so depressing that Einstein didn't die like more recently.
Oh,
We could have
and-
taken a whole MRI.
And here's the worst part. He had specifically asked for something like this to not happen to him when he died.
Jesus. That reminds me of the guy, the Stoic, right? This is his diary, like Adrian talked
Oh
about.
yeah. Oh
Yes.
yeah. Marcus
He
Aurelius.
burned my
Yeah,
dad.
the reason why I have a huge problem with Stoicism.
Yeah.
They're called Stoics.
Yeah, they read
You
this
would
guy's
know that
book.
if you
and
was gaze off into the distance.
inner thoughts, inner feelings, stuff that was never meant to see the light of day. Specifically told everyone, hey, do not take my diary, burn it after I'm dead. And what did they do? They do the opposite. Good stuff. Good fucking stuff. It's actually disgusting.
Yeah, but Meditations by Marcus Aurelius is a masterpiece.
Yes, but the only problem is that the fact it's a masterpiece means that it relies off of knowledge that would have otherwise not been acquired if it didn't involve the disrespecting of the dead. Meaning, his fucking diary, which is his deepest, darkest secrets that he didn't want anyone to read, that shit was being used.
It's not like he was writing on his big ass crush on Apollonia. He was talking about the bees and how they, by nature, get up every day and work, and how that means
Doesn't matter, man. Doesn't matter, man. Doesn't matter. The idea of that book is to never be read. And the idea of whatever Stoicism is it's a challenge of yourself. And the way it works is like this. Do good not because you have to, but because you ought to.
Alright. I'm gonna let a new guy on.
The thing is, if you cannot extrapolate from that, then you don't deserve it. That's the problem. See, it has to be true. It's a false religion.
So you're saying that there's a moral fallacy in studying Stoicism because it's founded on a text which was never meant to be read?
No, the reason to criticize Stoicism is because it's a bullshit philosophy.
Here to explain. How would you define? First of all, how would you define Stoicism?
Stoicism is basically this idea that you just sit down and you don't let things bother you, and you just remain, stoic about it, and you just move on with your life.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's basically the beta cuck version of the Sigma male.
Exactly.
Okay? It's like less sophisticated. That's the problem. It's not supposed to be that, but if you read all of the stuff, that's how it's going to come across.
Marcus Aurelius got fucking cucked. He got cucked. I don't take advice from cucks.
To be fair, if you're going to get cucked, I guess handling it in the best way is, a pretty decent philosophy. If you're going to be a cuck. Or you could get a sick pleasure out of it. That's always something.
Whoa, that voice shift. Oh my god.
Yeah, testosterone swings to over level 9,000.
Well, hello guys. My name is Malcolm Flex, owner of the best voice on this app. Sorry, Adrian. I will.
Huge fan of Malcolm. Love his
Hey,
work.
Malcolm.
You guys should watch his videos. Fantastic.
Flex is awesome.
Yeah.
All of them.
I don't like stoicism because it means not being a man of action, and oftentimes the situation requires.
Have you actually
to be a man
read
of action.
Meditations by Marcus Aurelius? Because he was definitely a man of action.
No, I
feel like modern stoicism interpretation is
people
totally
call
different.
themselves Stoics, right? A lot of
I
people
think-
call themselves Stoics like this betas. They
I think it's kind of
refuse to act.
Yeah, I think it's more about. I think it's kind of irrelevant. Who you listen to. I think when you take advice, you have to look at the person's life, and you look at, is this person something I want to be like? And if you don't, there's no point in listening to them. And I think if you look at Marcus Aurelius' life, I don't think that's something you want to emulate.
Well, I don't know much about his personal life. I know that he's regarded as a fairly successful emperor, though.
I mean, more like personal life.
Yeah, which is what people are trying to apply philosophy to, right? That's the issue, right?
And I know I'm going to get shit for this, but for example, Jordan Peterson, he gives a lot of good advice, but it has not worked out well in his own personal life. So
he even admits that. He admits that.
Yeah. So I'm not sure someone like
he was.
Yeah. So I'm not sure taking advice from him is a good advice. You want to take advice from people whose life you want to emulate, not people whose personal life is a complete fucking mess.
What if somebody has like an awesome personal life, an awesome career life, but their advice is total shit? And they're like, hey, dude, you want to smoke some fucking crack? And it's like, this person is perfect.
Are they smoking crack?
Smoking it though? Yeah. If they're not, then do it. Right? Do the opposite of what they're doing.
I mean, I'm going to have a hot take here. And I know you guys aren't overtly political, but Hunter Biden probably has one of the best fucking personal lives ever.
Listen, my father is not the vice president / president, so.
This is very true, and that sounds like a skill issue, but we shall not address that. But one of the beautiful things about taking people's advice is that typically, if it's pretty easy advice to do, whether or not it gels with your personal philosophy or not, you can actually do it because, I mean, it's easy. There's no, like, loss of energy or no personal exertion. But, it's like when people start having all of these gargantuan requirements and, it's a very difficult philosophy to follow. Like, you got to walk the road of stoicism and, oh, sorry, my wife just cheated on me with the BBC pool boy, but I'm going to sit here and not have any sort of reaction. Well, okay, then. That's probably not good advice.
This is what I feel about those TikTok influencers and Instagram influencers who, tell you how to live a good life, and then they give you like this whole list of things to do every single day, like take cold showers and then eat 2 omelets a day and then do this and that and meditate for 30 minutes. And it's like, how do they even accomplish that? That's complete horseshit. None of that is anything that any successful person ever does, right? I know a lot of successful people and they don't live like that. They will just eat whatever the fuck they want. They will exercise sometimes if they feel like it. But what they're doing with their lives is totally different from the stupid advice that you see on Instagram.
Also, not to mention, when they do those things, it's like 3-4 months of like concentrated effort, and then they fucking leave that shit away for like months.
Or even years.
Or years.
Right,
years. Yes, exactly. So, yeah, a lot of these rich people that read a lot of books, I mean, I know a few of them, they'll read like 100 books in like 4 months, and then they won't read books for years.
Yeah.
Right? It's like that. They're not reading like 10 pages a day.
Meanwhile, you have these idiots trying to emulate Patrick Bateman from American Psycho as if that's something to emulate. It's fucking delusional.
It's called bone.
Wait, hold on. Are you telling me I shouldn't just randomly pull out guns shooting people?
Yes. Yes. Do not do that.
Well,
they think it's cool. You know what your problem is? You've got a moving attitude.
It's called
I need to go return for videotapes.
Texas if you want to be like Patrick Bateman, I don't know if we call that Betamaxing or what, but it's definitely a pretty good philosophy to go by.
He sees the same barber as I do, although I have a slightly better haircut.
We have Patrick Bateman at home, and then Chase just walks in the door. Hi, kids.
Oh my God.
There is no Chase Geyser. There is merely an illusion of Chase Geyser, an idea.
What you are seeing is a manifestation of what Chase wants you to believe he is. We really don't know what Chase Geyser really looks like. We're all imagining it. Come on, Chase. You're supposed to fucking back me up here. God,
I don't know. It's true. I'm laughing.
God, just made me like coming from all my cool tech bro friends.
I just want to let you go. I just want to let you roll, man. I was loving it. I love it when other people talk about me.
Sorry, guys. That was all my stand-up material. I blew my load all in like the first 5 minutes of space. So
Yeah.
That's the best 5 minutes of our lives. So
Yeah, exactly.
Was it good for you as it was
Hold
for
on,
me?
don't go leaving now. A real man never pulls out.
Never, ever? Never?
no. Well, okay. So to be fair, how many kids is Elon up to?
12 or something.
Counting these sperm bank donations?
no, I don't think so.
No, seriously though, that was actually one of my less mature ideas, was to go all Genghis Khan using a
Doesn't
sperm
the guy
bank.
from Telegram have like? Isn't he like a huge sperm bank donor?
Patel Durov? Yeah, Patel Durov is a massive sperm bank donor, yeah.
Yeah, he's got like hundreds of kids that he doesn't know.
Yeah, that's based. That's based. You
Dude,
go
that is
full Genghis
amazing.
Khan. Go full
Yes.
Genghis Khan.
Yeah, one time I met him, I just said, Dad?
Oh my god.
I would know it. You probably could pull that off depending on how long he's been blowing it.
I'm like 4 years older than you, dude.
There's like some Dutch guy with like 500 kids who literally had to be like court ordered to stop donating. Because they're like basically like, if you keep donating like this, there's gonna like so much of the population is gonna be like your descendants that there's gonna be like incest going on accident. Exactly.
Threatening me. There's a Netflix documentary on a doctor, a fertility doctor. He's replacing the sperm with his own, right? And so the whole town is basically just his kids. It's fucking insane. It's fucking insane.
And then when they catch him doing this, like there's literally like no law against it.
Yep. That's crazy.
And nothing happens to him.
Honestly, I'd be down.
Nightmare fuel,
Wasn't
guys.
Jeffrey Epstein trying to do something like that in Mexico, where he was like financing some sperm bank and just like fertilizing it? I believe it was. It was like
This
part of
sounds like
the whole
a
MIT.
This sounds like a plot to a porno.
We know he loved kids.
Yeah, but this like the guy had like a genuine interest in genetics, right? And he used himself as like the ideal candidate. The guy, I mean, he's a narcissist, right? But yeah, no, he was actually financing this stuff because he was interested in it. The MIT Technological Lab, the tech lab, they took a lot of his funding. Kind of crazy. Like he was financing a lot of this research, and a lot of them got kicked out of the universities. All these professors, after all the Epstein stuff came out.
That's really freaking dark. Like,
yeah, the crazy thing to do is you go look at the pictures that were taken when they raided his house, and you can find pictures.
It's like a little dentist chair. Why does he need a dentist chair?
Well, you can find pictures of his bookshelves, and you can see what crazy ass books he was reading. I went down.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I just still haven't made it past the fact
I like
that
that he had the painting of Bill Clinton there. The one with him in the blue dress.
Yeah, I always wondered if that was real or if that was like AI.
That's real, yeah. That's a real thing, yeah. That painting, we know who painted it and everything, right? It's not like it's a secret. But yeah, Bill Clinton's a big fan, and he bought the painting and he hung it up in his house. Kind of crazy.
Jesus Christ, man. This whole world is screwed because we still bring Bill Clinton up to speak and just act like this didn't happen.
Yep.
Like, good
He
Lord.
was involved. And now with all the Diddy stuff, I mean, what the fuck? It turns out like half of Hollywood is, like he's got blackmail on them, which is why they don't speak out against him. And what the fuck?
Yeah, got it.
You know when people say we live in a simulation, right? Everybody's referring to like a computer simulation or something, but the reality is, if you've ever read Baudrillard's Simulacrum Simulation, it's more like we live in an illusory world, right? We're meant to believe certain things about the world that we live in, facts that are not actually facts, that are like we live in a simulacra, right? And the reality is somewhere behind. It's the desert of the real, right? And we're pulling back the curtain on it right now, right? With X, like a lot of this stuff is just coming out. It's crazy how much we think is real is just media manufactured.
I honestly wouldn't even be surprised if we live in a computer simulated reality.
No, I wouldn't be either. I think the probability is that we do. The probability is that we do. But we still have to live our lives as if we're because the consequences only matter to us here now.
Yeah, I mean, like, how do you know a rock is hard, for example? How do you know that it doesn't become hard the second you just touch it or measure it? Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and then imagine if it's just that the rock is only hard to you because you haven't reached a level of strength to where it becomes soft, like it's literally your own personal.
Oh my God, guys!
Of feeling. I'm just saying, it's like
it becomes hard as soon as you touch it, and then it gets soft.
Are we not doing phrasing?
Yeah.
Not doing phrasing?
It's Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, right? It's like it's not confirmed until an observer actually observes it.
Until you observe it.
Right.
Yeah, this is a quantum state before that. Now, granted, this is not true of rocks, right? But it's certainly true of a lot of things, and that's where quantum computing comes in, which is fascinating.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's mostly been bullshit up to now.
Yeah. What do you think of the Google thing where they have do quantum computing?
Well, yeah, it's real. Well, it depends on what you mean by real. There's a lot of achievements, but I want you to, like, anytime someone comes out and they're like, we've achieved quantum supremacy, they're a dumbass, and they're lying to you. So, a lot of these things, a lot of these quantum shit, that what they're doing is something called sampling, where they're basically just taking a survey of, like, the quantum bits. They're not, like, actually doing anything that's useful. So it's like the equivalent. It's like the equivalent of me saying, think of a number between 1 to 100. I'm thinking of a number between 1 to 100. Try to guess which number it is, and then you guess incorrectly 7. And then I'm said, no, I was thinking of 42. And because I knew it instantly, and it took you time to figure it out, that means I'm 300 trillion times faster than you. This is like the equivalent of what's happening with these fucking, ridiculous numbers where they come out with, it's like 10 to the power of 28 times faster than a normal computer. This is how they get the ridiculous numbers. But if you're talking about doing anything useful with these computers in the modern day, they're not doing anything absolutely useful. Willow did have some breakthroughs, which is that the error rate did actually go down as you added more qubits, which is actually an accomplishment. It is actually a big breakthrough. But the thing where they came out with, where they're like, this took a few minutes for something that would take more longer than the universe, I would be very skeptical of that. Google has a habit of doing this shit, where they specifically choose like the worst algorithm possible to make their quantum computers look better. Like an example of this was they came out and they solved, they did something, and then they're like, it took us like a few minutes what it would take a traditional computer 10,000 years. And then IBM came out and they were like, you're literally using an inefficient algorithm. If you did this on a traditional computer with a proper algorithm, it would take 2.5 days, not 10,000 years. And I would, not to mention anything that they're getting these numbers with, it's completely useless. It has no use case. Like quote-unquote calculations that they're doing. So as of now, you don't really have to worry about quantum computers.
What are those math problems where you get $1 million if you solve them? Are they called the Millennium Problems?
Yeah, Millennium Problems.
You would think that if these computers were actually capable of quantum computing on a massive, rapid scale like that they could just put in the problem to some sort of large language model and they could process the hell out of it and prove
a large language model will likely not be able to solve math problems because it literally it's in the name. LLM, large language model. They're designed for language, not math.
You don't think that they're the same thing?
No. Because
wait till you dive into the next level, man. Wait till you get to the next level of the Matrix, man.
Wow. But yeah, with things like memory, for example, with things like memory and speech, a lot of it is like stochastic. It's very, very.
It learns.
It's very, very chance based. What each thing is, there's a percentage chance that each one is going to be what. It's predicting the next
so you're describing language using math?
Yeah, actually. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say, motherfucker.
Exactly. But with the large language models, you can't exactly map math exactly the same as you can. There's like very strict rules of the universe that large language models just can't really understand or observe. Now, maybe we can create something specifically with transformers, but I doubt, which is the technology that large language models are using, but I doubt that large language models themselves would ever really be able to do math properly and better than humans. We could have another transformer structure that is doing math better than humans, but I doubt it's going to be a large language model.
Well, it's certainly not doing math on its own if it depends on the prompts that it receives.
Yeah.
Like, I don't do any sophisticated mathematics with large language models, but I do use large language models all the time for works in various capacities. And, for example, if you want to code something, you can definitely massage it into getting the right outcome, even if it can't do it intuitively on the first shot. So there's a little bit of back and forth. I think you can definitely use an LLM to do math, but it certainly can't do it without a sophisticated prompter.
No, because it's going to have to guess, right? So because it's guessing.
Well, let me ask you this, because I see where you're coming from. Let me ask you this: when you ask like a ChatGPT to solve a math problem, is it a different technology than the LLM that you're interacting with that's actually doing the math for you? Like, is there okay? I see.
So what it's doing is, okay, if I say what's 1 plus 1. It's not actually calculating 1 plus 1.
This is opening a calculator app, right?
It's not opening a calculator app. It's guessing that 1 plus 1 is equal to 2 based on its previous training, because that's what it's been trained on. But if you give it something that it has never seen or has seen very rarely, it is going to guess wrong almost 100% of the time. Because it's taking an educated guess with mathematics each time. And the more that problem has been solved in the past and the more training data humans have developed for it, the more correct it's going to be. But once you get into the super advanced stuff where there's a lot less training data for it, it's just taking a guess and it's not even an educated guess. So it's not actually calculating anything.
It's hallucinating it.
Yes.
Okay. Which is why, for the most part, when you use ChatGPT, it's actually activating plugins when you ask for certain things.
Exactly.
If it's unable to do it on its own.
Exactly. If you ask it for math questions, I've actually noticed that ChatGPT with Wolfram Alpha, which is an AI specifically built for mathematics and physics, it does actually perform quite well. But that's an external tool that's plugged in. That's not even a transformer model. Right, that's a completely different technology built specifically for mathematics.
Yeah, and they build it into it, so it interfaces as a translation layer.
Yeah,
that's pretty clever.
I think there's just one thing I thought of adding. Reasoning models work very differently compared to the regular ones, right? Like, for example, if you take models like O1, yes, they do use pre-trained data and stuff, but there is also chain of thought. And then we have verification loops to see, like, if there's any logical fallacies. How do we
now they write code, and now they write code and they execute the code to make sure that their mathematical calculations are correct. Yeah, but that's an indirect way of handling those things. That's not a direct way of handling those things.
it effectively creates an illusion that it's capable of this, where in fact it's actually, interfacing with different aspects of the program.
Yeah.
So hilariously enough, it acts enough like a human brain, just being a large repository of knowledge. But it's just like, if you have to dig into a part of your brain that knows math, that's like opening an external app or an external plugin of sorts.
If you asked me an advanced math question and you had me on the phone, I don't know the answer to it because I can't calculate that high. I will open the calculator app and then I'll tell you the answer, right? And if
there is also kind of a limitation as well, which is if you look at like the best models, best AI models, they're not usually trained by humans. They kind of train themselves. So if you look at the best chess bots, they're usually playing against each other, and they're having a ton of playthroughs. And if you look at video games, that's also what they're doing because they can do it much faster. Yeah, exactly.
That's the first game that did it.
Yeah, they can have a lot more training data. But the problem is, as with language and the universe and everything around us, and our language, it's very difficult to do that. Like, how exactly are you going to make an AI to train itself on reality without human input? So you kind of start to hit a ceiling around human intelligence.
It's because humanity, or rather the real world, is not a vacuum, right? It's an external source. Whereas chess and StarCraft and Call of Duty, which are all trained on themselves, are vacuums. There's nothing that exists outside of it. There's no human input.
Mm-hmm.
It's also why you can get glitches with these games, because, for instance, disconnections, lag, latency, these things, the model doesn't, account for these things unless they're sophisticated enough, which is why you're capable of, in some instances, tricking it into basically stopping because it didn't predict that. It doesn't predict the fact that, your latency is super high and you're going to disconnect the game and interface in it in a way that it cannot predict. That's not part of the programming.
Well, yeah, they didn't predict me dropping 1 million individual pieces of gold on the ground.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, again,
oh my God! I just checked my DM. Someone literally said the exact same things I did. He's like, you can do it. You can make the AI figure out math through fucking Python, and also there's the Wolfram extension. Yeah. So yeah.
Because humans are unpredictable. We operate on chaos. There's only so much that you can predict a human will, behave. It's like group psychology is a lot easier to predict than individual psychology. You can't predict what I'm going to do in the next 10 seconds, but you can probably predict what a society would do in the next, 2 years, given the existing parameters.
Well, if you have enough data, you can probably predict what you were going to do in the next 10 seconds. It just requires some macro.
It's super fast. Yeah, it just wouldn't be able to work. Yeah, it doesn't operate on that time scale. It's kind of like a river. You can predict that a river is going to go from point A to point B, right? But you cannot predict where the individual water droplets are going to go. Too many external factors would change that, would alter the course.
Yeah. Just don't ask Candace about it.
Candace dick fit in your mom's mouth.
I thought he was gone. Justin, I thought he was never coming back.
Yeah.
No, I was here the whole time, man. I had some stuff to deal with. Now I'm stuck in a traffic jam. Beautiful fucking thing, man. I really hope that robots are going to take over driving because humans are a fucking disaster.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the cyber taxi.
Oh, yeah, that's just going to be great. Rover taxi. I mean, it's already here. It's operating. Just not at internet, just not at a fully national level and then eventually international.
Correct.
It's gonna
It'd
happen.
be nice to get one. I just want to go places and not have to call in Uber or anything, you know, not have to walk to my wherever, you know. I just want to be able to summon it on my phone and just go to where I want, and then just it can drop me off. I'm not a car guy. I don't buy cars to drive them. I have a really nice Ford Raptor. Do I drive it? No.
Wait, you're in Dubai, right?
Yeah, I'm in Dubai.
Yeah, so in Dubai, how's the public transport? Because when I was there, I was using an app that was like similar to Uber. I forgot what it was called. Careem, yes, exactly. Yeah. So how's the public transport? Because back when I was there, it was kind of ass.
It's still ass. I don't use public transport anyway, but it's not enough bus stops, I think. Yeah.
I use public transport when I'm in Asia, but
Tokyo is fucking amazing for public transport. Like, everything is just great. And also, you don't want to get into taxis because they're too expensive. You know, like going from 5 kilometers is going to cost you probably
Japan in general
$50.
is pretty decent. I say Japan in general is pretty decent.
Just take the train. I mean, the train's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
super efficient.
I think Asia's like Asia's one of the only places where like you actually prefer taking the train to.
Singapore is good. Singapore's really good. Hong Kong is also good.
Yeah. Thailand is also surprisingly good.
Malaysia shit though. Like the public transport in Malaysia is kind of crap.
Yeah, exactly. To Malaysia was complete ass.
Drive a car there. You need to.
Yeah. There's another app. I forgot what it was called. There's like another app in Asia. That's like Uber.
Grab. It's called Grab.
Exactly. Grab. Manila is complete ass. Never go to Manila.
You know, Manila still looks like it does in that stupid movie with what's her name, Catherine Zeta-Jones, where she's like doing like her ass gymnastics under the lasers, the field of lasers, and it's like it's supposed to be set in Malaysia, but to film the slums, because Malaysia doesn't have any slums, they had to film it in Manila.
Manila.
It still looks like that. What the fuck?
Manila is probably like one of the worst places I've ever visited. Yeah. I've heard positive things about other cities like Cebu, but
they're getting better.
Yeah, Manila is. I went there. It was a complete shithole.
It looks just like it does in that movie. You know, any movie where you think of like, because I know most people don't want to travel there, but any movie where you can think of like a third world Asian country, that is Manila. Okay, and they probably filmed it in Manila, and it still looks like that.
Let's see, where else is public transportation good? Taiwan is very good. China's very good.
China's good. Yeah, Shenzhen.
Well, yeah, China depends on where. Right.
Shenzhen's good.
Yeah.
Beijing, Shanghai.
Yeah. Other than those countries, which countries? I'm trying to think. I think we've covered like the big ones.
Yeah. I mean, you could go smaller, like Myanmar or something, but
I doubt. I doubt.
I don't think they even have it.
Yeah. Europe, a lot of people love sucking Europe's dick with public transportation. I don't think Europe's public transportation is that great.
No, it's not.
They put a lot of money into the infrastructure. They really do.
I think some countries do a good job. Switzerland, in particular, does a very good job with their public infrastructure. But like, I hear a lot of people. You know, I was in the UK for quite a while. A lot of people are like sucking the shit